Hey everybody, welcome back to another DIY Rick 66 DIY video. Now there's lots of conversion videos out there. This is going to be on an EZGO 2015 revamp, which was done in 2023. We've got our switch in tow so we can work on the batteries. Got all our wires that come in here on the negative post and all our wires come here on the other battery on the positive post. We're going to want to put some zip ties on them, zip tie them all together so we know they were negative, and we'll put a black piece of tape on there, and these are our positives over here. We'll tie those all together and we'll put on red tape so we know that that was a positive. All the rest of these are just links that are linking in the batteries, which make it a 48 volt system. And over on that side, they've already got the converter in there that converts all the 48 volts down to 12 volts to be able to run all the accessories in this golf cart. You all should be able to know how to remove batteries. We're just going to take these off here, which are these battery hold downs, and then take all these wires off and remove it. So let's do that. Okay, so there they are. They're all pulled. I'll show you the inside of the battery tray. It's got a little bit of rust. I think it's surface rust. I'm going to probably have to clean that off with a wire wheel brush. And we'll spray paint it black and take those tie downs right there, the hold downs for the batteries, and we're going to have to grind them off. Okay, so with the beauty of editing there, you saw the batteries are already pulled. Here is my wires all cinched up with wire ties. I've got my hot wires here that we took off. And I have my negative wires here that were taken off. Now this wire loom here, this is basically for the old charger that's going to go back, and it's mounted on the plate here of the golf cart, and I'm going to show you what to do there in a minute. This is a wiring loom. So we're going to take the wire out that has like a little blue wire on there. Everything else is going to come out here. We no longer need it. We just need that one wire that's coming out of there, and they call that the reed switch wire, the reed wire. And that has to be hooked up. We're going to have to put a loop on there like these, a ring terminal, and we'll put that on the hot wire of the battery later on. So inspecting the battery tray here, it's not too bad. It doesn't look as rusty as I thought. There is some surface rust, a little bit of rust over in here, but I think we're okay. I'll know more because I'm gonna probably power brush this, hand brush this, whatever, and then I'm gonna paint it up. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to have some gloves on. You definitely have to have some eye protection. I've seen these things explode before being in the crafts. We're going to cut the top of these off first, get them out of the way so it's a little easier to get our cut wheel in there. So let me show you what we're going to do here. And probably some kind of respirator or mask would probably be good too. You might not want to breathe this stuff. I don't know what kind of paint they used, or the dust or anything that you're going to be breathing in. So be careful of that. Okay, so you can see I cut the tabs off here. Now we're just going to cut the tabs off the sides there and clean it up. Okay, you can see I cleaned it all up. It's about as clean as it's going to get. Surface rust is almost gone. I'm going to go ahead and spray it with some flat black Rust-Oleum paint to protect it from up underneath and around the inside of the trays. All right, so now you can see it's all nicely painted up here. Kind of presentable looking, I guess, for what we got going on here. Now I'm going to show you something else. Right here, of course, this is where your charge receptacle used to go in for the EZGO. This will work for other ones also. What we're going to do is we got to drill out these rivets here and then pop this out. I'll show you the back side. See right here, this is the charger receptacle right here. Comes off there, goes in through that wiring loom I showed you earlier. Now what you want to look for, there's going to be a snap connector in here. That's it right there. And the guys that did this cart before really wired it up tight, so I don't have much room there. But that is a blue cable. Hopefully you can see that. That right there is your reed switch. That's the one that we're gonna have to pull back all the way over there, and we're gonna put a ringlet on there. So what you wanna do is you basically wanna disconnect this, pull it apart, and then once you drill this out, that whole thing comes out of there. Once you take all your wire ties and all off there, you're not gonna need them anymore. You're gonna put a different receptacle in there. Now you've probably watched other videos and people have probably glossed over it. It's called ringlet. ringlet. These are ringlets. You get them from your hardware store, probably even Walmart if you need to. They come in different sizes, and they're crimp connectors. You're going to put your wire right in there. There's a metal base right in here that will compress around that wire. So you want to wire it up nice and tight, maybe even double it up if you have enough wire. And you take your connectors, it could just be a pair of pliers, vice grips, whatever it is you have, you're going to smash that down around the wire. Now this will go onto your post of your hot on your battery. So this goes to the positive connector. Like I said, there's different sizes depending on which one you're going to use, what size the post is coming out of your battery, the bolt. Okay, so we've drilled it out. You can see they're drilled, and now this should, with a little pressure, now will pop right out. You can see that popping right out, and we're going to take that completely out of there. All right, and there we go. So that's going to pull right through there. There's the rest of the harness. So we will make a plate up for this, or you can buy one. I'll give you some links for people that do make them online if you need one, or you can make something up for yourself for the new charger that's going in there. So you can see it's all disconnected. And like I said, there's the wiring loom there, and we'll pull that all apart. Okay, quick follow-up. I went ahead and got the NOCO fitting in with the plug. I put an adapter on there. I made myself a rubber seal here that goes against some of the scratches that were on the original install. And there we go. Just gonna plug right in there. Snaps right down, real easy. Comes with these black self-tapping kits with the little bracket that goes inside here. Makes it real easy. Here's the other end of the plug here. And you can see how that goes on there like that. I'll put the link there underneath the description of my YouTube channel. And this is the 18-inch length. You can get them smaller, depends on what you want to use. Here I got some 2x10 treated planks. I cut them down to 22 inches. That's what went in my tray. There is a series of holes that are already drilled in the tray underneath that go from here to there, and from there to there all the way around. So I'm going to put some lag bolts in from up underneath with some fender washers. That's going to pull that down nice and secure. And then our battery's going to push back here. Some lag bolts to hold it down. That's not going anywhere. And I think that's going to be a clean install. Right here, we're probably going to mount the charger somewhere. And I think, like I said, I'm going to just mount my gauge right there. I already have a digital gauge right here that'll actually work for lithium. I put that in prior. So that's what we got so far. Okay, just to show you how secure this is, like I said, they got lag bolts and everything else in there. I'm 220 pounds and I got the golf cart bouncing. I'm not hanging on to anything. So those batteries are weighing about 108 pounds. There's no way you're going to snap through that. Plenty of support, even probably for your larger batteries if you want to go larger. Okay, so here's the finished product there. We've sprayed it black. I think it looks really nice. And we're ready to install the battery. See, those boards fit in there really nice. Okay, so this came in, the battery itself, about 3 days ago. Came in FedEx. FedEx was not really gentle with it. Unfortunately, a young woman came in and I had to help her get it off, and I'm a little banged up as it is, getting older, and she couldn't even get it off there. And this thing was kind of like beat up on the side. Then 3 days later, this comes in. Same FedEx driver, same FedEx truck, just a white truck, no labels, and it's not identified or anything like that. This comes in like this. Now, the one good thing about it is they have some like high density foam in there to protect this stuff, so hopefully it works out. But I just wanted to let you know this does come in 2 different shipments. So we open this up, you'll see this is pretty heavy duty foam. So it's wrapped pretty good, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay. It says why choose lithium battery with the metal casing, fireproof and anti-explosion, better heat dissipation, shock-proof protection in the interior, why they designed it that way, and how the cells are laid out. Comes with a lithium product specification guide, DC House app user manual, so that goes on your telephone, so you can Bluetooth on your phone. And probably this is about the monitor itself. So this comes out like this. Like I said, it's pretty high density foam. So we take the bracket out here, it's a metal bracket. And there's the monitor like that. And imagine that just snaps right in there like that. It's got a little clip on the side. And then your monitor cable will plug in there. Hardware bag with looks like plastic protectors that go over the terminals. to where you bulb into your battery. Get your positive red and your black. There is your negative. And here's the high density foam. That's pretty good foam right there. Underneath here, here's a communication cable which is going to go to your monitor. This will screw into the terminal on the battery, and this will plug into the back of the monitor. Has a little clip. So plenty of cable. And here's the battery, spinning around. I said this weighs 108 pounds. That's how it comes. And see, it's got that high density foam. So it shouldn't be damaged to where this hole is right here on the box. Looks like they have handles on there, and when whoever tried to picked it up and broke right out the handle. But it has kind of that same foam again. Now these come from different suppliers. The battery came from a different supplier than one of their suppliers around the States here. And I'm in South Carolina, originally Delaware. So there's your ring terminals and your charger cable, which will hook up to the other end of here. Looks like it has a screw adapter that goes in there, just plugs together. And that'll go to the battery positive and negative for your charger. And then you have your plug here, which will go to our receptacle on the NOCO adapter on the card itself. Now, if you wanted to, you could just plug this into the wall if you're close enough, and that would go to the battery terminals and charge that way. Entirely up to you. Now, I've seen some on the market, and a lot of them are kind of plastic. This is actually metal all the way around, which is nice. It says DC house there, 48 volt, 18 amp, and looks like there's going to be a charge indicator right there that's going to light up once it's plugged in. Okay, so I got permission from DC House to go ahead and open this up. Once again, I bought this myself, so this is with my own funds. This wasn't donated or anything or given to me by DC House. Okay, you're going to see it in real time just like me. I just pulled the screws here. Looks like it's got a little seal around it. There we go. So it looks like it has some kind of plastic cover on there. I can't really see much in there without damaging it. So I don't want to pop that off. I don't really know enough about these. I've just seen a lot of videos online. So maybe I could take a peek. It looks like the terminals are welded. Can't really see that right there, maybe. Here's where the terminals come in. Yeah, I can't really pop this off with damaging this little protector here. You can see the individual cells. The BMS is right on this side up against the terminals. Looks mainly like it's more cabling than a ribbon cable or anything like that. Can't really see that well. You can just see that there's little terminals there. So we're just gonna have to do a test on it and see how it is. Under the lid itself, I've seen a lot of these have like foam underneath of them. These have built-in standoffs, I guess, which are keeping it from smashing on top of there. But there's no foam on there. There is a nice rubber seal that runs around the perimeter and overlaps so that you don't get any water in here. That's about as far as I can go with the unboxing of the battery. Put the lid back on. I think because, unfortunately, the terminals are over on this side here where you're gonna plug in, and the way they built this, there's no writing on the battery. And I'd like to see the battery in the right direction. So I'm actually gonna spin the lid around so it's like this, so when my terminals are on this side, on the other side of the golf cart, at least you have the labeling going the right way. So I'll put all the screws back in, we'll charge it up, and then I'll pop it in. Okay, a couple more things I wanted to show you. So this is your positive connector here. They have it labeled P+, and then here's your negative connector here. They have a P-. They have a little rubber protector on there. Here's where your gauge would plug into, and here's a vent. In case this thing built up pressure, the vent will blow off the pressure there. Here's your power switch on and off. 11 5/8, 19 inches, about 10.5 inches. There's your dimensions. The thing I liked about this is the mounting bracket that's actually built into the case here, the solid metal case. It's got some machine welds here. There's one here stitched, one here, and one there. So that holds on there nice, and then you're gonna have your hold downs right here. I like that instead of someone just had a feet, 1 foot here, 1 foot there. This will distribute that weight which is nice so it won't rock in case your mounting isn't quite level where you're mounting it to. These are spring activated, which is nice. It keeps the handles down so they don't rattle around when you're driving around. So it's pretty well built. I don't know about the components itself. It says A+ cells. I mean, everybody's saying that now. The writing on here on the top, is the description of it's pretty nice. It's bold, it's black. I like the colors on it, it really stands out. It says, do not disassemble or deform the battery. So we're not doing that. High voltage, do not touch uninsulated terminals or connectors. It has a scan code here for your app, to download the app in case you don't see it in your manuals or whatever. It has service at dchousepower.com. I've heard that their tech support's pretty good. It says, warning, low temperatures may cause a sudden lithium battery capacity drop. If leaving 5 days or longer, pack must be shut off. The battery may shut down immediately due to over temperature, over current, under voltage, external short circuit. Once the under voltage alarm occurs, stop driving immediately and charge the battery as soon as possible. Some people have said don't run them down below 50% on your battery meter. Some have said 35, so I would say anywhere from 35 to 50%. Make sure this is charged up. If you're going to leave it for an extended period of time without using it, go ahead and shut it off there with the on and off button. And that's supposed to kill the current, so there's nothing leaking through your golf cart in case something's not disconnected, like a meter or Bluetooth stereo system or whatever else you have on the 12 volt. It says 1, 2 in here, okay? You have to look inside. It'll say 1, 2. And then on here, they have dummy proofed it. It says 1, 2. So you make sure that those are lined up before you plug them in. Sticks in like that. It has this adjustment knob there, tightens it up. And I have to open the bag and put these terminals on. Okay, that's hooked up now. So we're gonna take this little cap off here where it says UART. And this also has a little plug-in connector. You're gonna have to look at, it's a 4-prong. And I'm looking to see if it goes in any certain direction. It doesn't really show a top or a bottom here. There's a little notch here at the bottom, so we're gonna look and see. There's a little notch up top. It looks like there might be one. Okay, I tried several directions and you can tell before you push it in that notch is gonna line up. And then you just screw it right on there. Make sure you don't cross thread it. Just wiggle it until it starts to line up on those threads. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Just hand tighten it. Here's the other end. You've got at least probably a 12-foot cord here. It's pretty darn long. So here on the gauge that I showed, once you snap it in there, there's where your little plug is right there. And you're gonna take this and line it up, make sure the clip lines up, right in that space. Plug it in right like that and it snaps right in. Now we should be fully plugged in. We'll hit the power button. We're running just off the battery power that's already on there. So the battery's got 32% charge on it. So much for the 35% that they talked about. We're at 32 right there, coming in from the factory. So there's 32%, tells you no currents coming in, 18.50 temperature, time on the battery. Then you go through the different settings here, or the different things here. Here's table 2, more information. And then this will be the status of the cells themselves. And there you are. And I'm going to plug in the charger and let's see what that looks like. So the charger's plugged in. Saw the fan go on. It's got an indicator here. And my old eyes are not focusing very well, so maybe you can see it better than I can, and maybe I'll see it in the video when we play it back. But you can see it blinking. So it's got an LED indicator that shows you it's on. The fan is on. Very quiet. You can hardly hear it. Almost sounds like a PC fan if you're familiar with them. And that's it. We're just going to leave it on there, let it charge up, and then go ahead and put it into the golf cart. One other thing, this is the hardware that came with it. There are some multiple bolts and lugs. There's shorter lugs and longer lugs. Those are the short lugs I have in there right now that are charging it. And of course, if you have more of those ring eyelets going on there with different positive and negative devices and cables, you've got longer lugs that will accommodate them, hopefully. Okay, while this is charging, it's only been on for about maybe 15 minutes. We're up to 36% already. One thing I did notice, this doesn't take much to dislodge this, and I've seen this on other reviews on the same type of monitors. I mean, it pops right out real easy. There's just a little clip right here on the side and one clip right there. You don't really want to mess with that by trying to bend it out to make it tighter because it is plastic and you will snap it. What I would suggest is run, I mean, even though it's got like this little rubber seal here so it doesn't get wet, I would run some electrical tape around the perimeter of this whole thing here, make it nice and tight, like a couple wraps. And then when you press it into this, it's gonna probably hold it in there nice and tight. That'll take up that gap a little bit. I'm gonna do that for mine. It wouldn't take much to dislodge that riding down the road. That's gonna pop right out on you and then you're gonna get frustrated. But see, here it says discharge on, charging on, so it keeps all that going. Looks like you can cycle through there by pushing the power button also, if you don't hit the touch screen. Okay, the battery's cinched down now. I laid it out and I've got it in the back of the battery tray there as far back as I could without it hitting any metal. Pardon the lighting, it may be flickering because I have an LED light on there, a drop light, but that's what it looks like. And you can see how far back it went. Okay, the time's come. We're going to go ahead and unclip our positives here. Take that off there. Now we know they go on the positive connector. This is the wire we put the ring on coming from over there. And then we also have a positive that's coming from our charger. So we'll put that on there. Most current coming through it. And then of course we have our larger lug, which is going to be the first one. And that goes on there like that. We're going to use a box wrench. And you want to just snug this, get it close, and then if this feels like it's bottoming out, then change your bolt around because you don't want to bottom it out. You'll think you're snug and you're not. There are, like I said, there are two bolts in this kit, one short one and one smaller one in length, and that's to accommodate more wires if you need them or less wires. Now you just want to snug this. You don't want to go crazy and, you know, gorilla strength this thing and end up snapping it off or something. Just like I said, double check it, make sure nothing's moving around on you, nothing's pinched, and then we'll move to the negative post. Now the negative has a lot of it on there too. It's actually got a lot more on there than the positive does because it goes to your F&R switch, which is your forward, neutral, and reverse, and that goes that little box down there. So there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the charger lead on there will be 6 going to this, to the negative side. Okay, so those covers are on, and when that switch is depressed, it actually goes in, which says it's on. Push it again and it pops back out. I mounted my gauge right there. Right underneath the charger where I can have access to it. I can just take a look at it, standing back, no problem. There's an excess cable there. You can see how much is in there. That would definitely make it shoot past the front of the cart. It says I do have 100% on my gauge that I've had here. That's a gauge that will handle lithium. Make sure we put the lights on. Lights are good. You know that's good. Horn's good. F&R switch. I can hear it. We're in reverse. Put it in forward, just bump it. Woohoo! Man, we got power and we're ready to roll. Got plenty of room right there to put some items in this area here if we want to for storage. And now the shroud's on there and you can see what that looks like. Okay, that's it. So keep in mind, when you do one of these installs, you're getting 48 volts, 52, I guess with a battery, compared to your lead acids. There's not going to be a tremendous amount of speed unless you change out the electric motor and upgrade to even a bigger battery. You're going to get a significant speed difference. You may get some, I mean maybe 2, 3 miles per hour, maybe 5 tops if you're lucky. And that's due to just the weight reduction by taking the lead acids out and putting the lithium batteries in. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, share with your family and friends. Let me know what you think of it. If you give me a thumbs up, it lets YouTube know you like our videos and they'll rank us a little higher towards the top and share the video a little bit more. Got any questions or whatever, put them down there underneath the description page on YouTube. If I have any links to any of the products, I'll put them on there. Whatever residual income I generate, I appreciate it and it helps the channel. Take care.